A drama is unfolding today on the county seat. We're going to be a part of it. It's taking place in Window Rock, Arizona at the Navajo Nation tribal headquarters. Now, the setup for this story is pretty interesting. You've heard it before. National government ignores the wishes of the local people and they feel shut out and isolated. But in this case, it's not the federal government versus the state or county or the citizens of a community. Rather, it is the Navajo Nation and the indigenous people that live in Utah. It all has to do with a monument. A protest over a proposed national monument took place in Window Rock, Arizona earlier this week. But the lines weren't drawn between a federal land agency or the local ranchers or miners, or even environmental groups. It was the grassroots Navajos of southeastern Utah protesting the Navajo Nation government for announcing that the Navajo Nation was going to petition President Obama to declare the Bears Ears a national monument. It is the ancestral home of the Paiute tribe of the Navajo. It is not only a sacred place to them and a way of life, but for many it is the very essence of life itself. These modest people live on the land, but they also live off the land.
We pick pinyon.
Yes.
And we hunt deer.
Yes.
And we cut down the posts for a hot gun. And we use cedar ash for our blue corn mush. That's where we get it.
The people who live around Bears Ears are the ones that do not want the monument. The rift started recently when the Intertribal Coalition set up by the Navajo National Government withdrew from the Public Land Initiative shortly before it was to be unveiled by Congressman Bishop and Chaffetz. They instead announced they were going to join with environmental groups, asking that President Obama declare 1.9 million acres in the area as a national monument. The coalition did it because they claimed they were locked out of participating in the PLI and the local wishes were not being considered.
There are a lot of folks across Navajo land within the Utah boundaries who asked for it. There's a lot of folks in all the 7 chapters came to the Navajo Nation, they came to the Zuni tribe, they came to a lot of other folks talking about how their voices were not heard.
Fred Ferguson, Chief of Staff for Representative Chaffetz, has been spearheading the PLI since the very start. From his perspective, they were never ignored.
When the Bears Ears Coalition pulled out of PLI, it was unexpected and quite frankly confusing. Over the last 4 months, we've met with them in 4 different states. We've received their proposal, we've reviewed their proposal, and we are working to include it in the final PLI.
The KLE feel that the ones not listening to the local wishes are the coalition members.
The reason why that we had a protest, our people, the Navajo Nation, they never went over to our people. They never came to us and said that we're going to make a Bears Ears monument.
Meanwhile, the grassroots group has engaged with the Land Planning Committee in San Juan County and helped the County Commission pass a resolution in support of a national conservation area at Bears Ears. It is now part of the Public Lands Initiative. The local tribes living in the southeastern Utah area are suspicious of monuments, based upon past performance by the Department of Interior. Monuments declared at Wupatki and Canyon de Chelly in the 20s and 30s served as homesteads for hundreds of Navajo families, farming and raising sheep and cattle. Slowly, the Navajo families left, either voluntarily or under pressure by the National Park Service, which seeks to eliminate private use of the public land it manages. Only one Navajo woman remains today, and when she dies, so will her family's residence permit.
I understand that Cameron turned into a national monument, and now those people are moving out. Same way with Canyon de Chelly, and we don't want something like that to happen in our region and in our area. So what we're saying now is we need to stop. You guys need to stop.
We're the only ones that were there around Bear Ears country, and according to history, if you go back, there's no written documents that other tribes live anywhere close to barriers.
The Kaeli feel that they have a better chance of participating in decisions if it is legislated rather than regulated. And that is what the PLI is proposing, and they are banking on.
I sure like to have a certain say-so into it. You know, as much as, you know, my relatives, they like to have some sort of a control over it also, and decide what works and what doesn't work, and what will be able to be done, and some sort of decision to be made.
You know, we believe the draft PLI produces better outcomes for Native Americans. We believe that through legislation we can have better access, better management, and better economic development opportunities for our tribal communities in Utah.
When we come back on the county seat, we will find out how this entire situation plays out for the people who live in the area of the Bears Ears. We'll be right back.
Kanab Basecamp for your southern Utah adventures. You belong in Kanab.
What would you do with an extra day in Utah Valley? Explore the Wasatch Mountains? Snap a family photo at Bridal Veil Falls. Cool off on Utah Lake or the Provo River. No matter what you're searching for, you can find it in Utah Valley. Bring everyone together.
ATV? Check. Four-wheel driving? Check. Bouldering? Check. Mountain biking? Check. Hiking? Check. River rafting? Check. Adventure is about more than just crossing activities off of a list, but hey, if you can find a place that gives you everything you're looking for, all the better. In Emery County, you'll find the San Rafael swell, trails, lakes, and the small-town hospitality you're looking for. San Rafael Country, in the heart of Utah. Visit us and check something off your list.
The Utah Farm Bureau has always been there to fight for the needs of its members, with discount programs on items ranging from vehicles and ATVs to health and wellness. The membership fees aren't big, but the results are. We've been around since 1916, and we're not leaving anytime soon. Utah Farm Bureau. We work for those who work to feed the world.
Welcome back to the county seat. We are in the Navajo Nation at Window Rock, Arizona, continuing our conversation today about the proposed monument that is being endorsed or recommended by the Navajo Council, and how Utah's Native Navajos feel about it. Joining us for our conversation is Marie S. Holliday, who is on the San Juan County Land Council, and Rebecca M. Benally, who is a San Juan County Commissioner. Thank you for taking the time to join us. So if I'm sitting in Salt Lake City right now, and I've just been following the papers and the news releases from the Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance, it sounds like there is unanimous support amongst the Navajo Nation for this 1.9 million acre monument in Utah, and that apparently is not the case. What is the status? If you're on the San Juan County Land Council, how did it evolve to this point that the nation has disengaged themselves with the Public Land Initiative and all these other things and gone for a monument?
Well, when I was asked to sit on the board, that was about 3 years ago, I really didn't know anything about, what was happening. But I start reading other articles, and that's how I knew that this is really important thing. This is something that our people, they need to know about. The area is so close to us in the Monument Valley, Oljeto area, And I was thinking that somebody really needs to represent this area. And so that's how I got on it. And we had meetings after meetings and how we should do it, you know, how it can be utilized by the people in the San Juan County, not just the Navajo people, you know, everybody that lives within the San Juan County. We were inviting every organization so we can hear them and see how they want this land to be utilized. And so that's what we did, and we invited the different groups, different organizations. They put their input into how it should be done. And so, and we came out with some plans. We went to the 7th chapter, and we have a public meeting. We also add more NCA, National Conservation Area.
Yeah.
So, and we presented to the county commissioner, and so they passed that. And so I'm really glad that Bishop Robert, Bishop and Jason Chafee, I'm glad they're, you know, helping us with that.
Okay, so you presented a plan, and you took it to the tribal council, and then it went to the county commission, and then into the PLI?
County commissioner.
Okay. Okay, and so that calls for a national conservation area that you would have some management control in, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back with the county seat. We'll continue our conversation about San Juan County and Native American lands in the county and how they should be managed. It's quite a hotbed, and they've been misrepresented in a lot of ways. So we will continue our conversation here on the county seat. We'll be back in just a minute.
Tucked away just outside of Cedar City, Utah, are two of southern Utah's best-kept secrets, Canaryville Falls and Kolob Canyons. The rare scenic views create beautiful backdrops to capture the perfect selfie. Get your selfie to Canaryville Falls or Kolob Canyons and get in on one of Utah's best-kept secrets. Go to visitcedarcity.com and access your adventure.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
How would you like a menu with over 400 fine dining options? Then come to Davis County, where dining goes beyond ordinary takeout. With over 400 restaurants, the possibilities for a special dining experience are endless. From sautéed ribeye or authentic sushi to gourmet sandwiches and salads, it's the perfect time to escape the kitchen. See a complete list of dining options by visiting playindavis.com and plan your next night out.
Let's be honest, you don't know much about Beaver County. Well, let me tell you about it. It's the birthplace of outlaw Butch Cassidy and inventor Philo T. Farnsworth. Some of the best skiing in Utah is at Eagle Point. You've got camping, Canyon Breeze Golf Course, Crusher and the Tushers, Beaver Territorial Courthouse, snowmobiling, renewable energy, Pioneer Car Show, Squeaky Cheese, Ghost Towns to explore, best water in the country, Paiute ATV trails, Old Frisco Kilns, horse racing, hunting, fishing, and it's a good place to live. Beaver County, mountains of fun. I could tell you more, but why don't you come and see it for yourself?
Welcome back to the county seat. We are in Window Rock, Arizona, but we are talking topics of San Juan County. More rightfully, this conversation might be happening in Montezuma Creek, but we are where we are because of the protest we covered earlier. So, Rebecca, I want to ask a question to you because I talked today at great length with Eric, who is the co-chair of the Navajo Nation Coalition, and he indicated to me in our conversation that there was a vast majority of the Utah Navajos that he was representing by withdrawing from the PLI and going directly to President Obama for a monument. And yet your group comes here and says that's not the case.
Well, I can officially say that is not the case. I was officially involved since February 2nd, 2015. And at that time, I met with one of the Bears Ears. At that time, they were called the Nebekea, and I wanted more information. But all I was presented was with a map. And so since then, the Nebekea has become Bears Ears Coalition, and today, currently, they're called Bears Ears Intertribal Coalition because, interestingly enough, Zuni and Hopi and Northern Ute has, my understanding, come aboard. So thinking along those lines, they say they have a lot of support for National Monument. I differ because those resolutions that they're talking about, it started out by supporting PLI process. And some of the chapter resolutions say for National Conservation Area. Mm-hmm. And then within the last several months, maybe 4 to 6 months, there's one finally that says National Conservation Area or National Monument.
So if in looking at the press in Salt Lake City and around Utah, the word is that they withdrew. And the reason that they withdrew is because Rob Bishop's office and Chaffetz's office was not listening to the locals. But apparently they've been listening to you, have they not?
Well, I can only speak for since January 2015. From what I understand is that this has been going for, it's a process. It's been going for 3 years, and prior to me, 2 years. And what I have seen is that we can show you sign-in sheets where Bears Ears Coalition members were present. And they were to a lot of the meetings, and I personally traveled to Flagstaff with representative from Governor Herbert's office, Congressman Chaffetz's office, and others that were representing different organizations in different areas. And we met with the Navajo Nation president, Mr. Deschetney, and Vice President Naz Peterson-Zaw, and we met with them. And so I know that when they requested meetings, it was honored. And I know that there's been meetings at White Mesa in Utah, Toyac, Colorado, and many other times in Salt Lake City. So I'm not sure when they say Chaffetz's office and Bishop's office were not meeting with them. I just don't understand that.
Who helped them? Who is helping them write their proposal? They keep referring to an attorney, and I keep hearing an attorney coming up.
Well, I've seen several people, now this is my opinion, is that it's one of the environmental groups. I did hear the name Charles Wilkins. I understand he's from the Grand Canyon Trust. So who is writing the proposal for the National Monument? So now, is that Navajo thinking, Navajo thought, Navajo want? If you ask me, it isn't. Because once you, writing is a very intense, critical thinking, cognitive level. It's what you believe in when you go to write something. Sure, you can put it in front of somebody and say, is this what you want? Is this what you mean? But still, it's your thinking. So I want to know where the Navajo thinking is in that plan.
So a lot of people are going, okay, monument, national conservation area, what difference does it make? So I guess that's the next question is what's the impact, you know, what is the fear of a monument with the local people that live there?
Well, it limits access. And that's what the grassroots Utah Navajo people want, is access for medicinal herb gathering, wood, pinyon nuts, hunting, and so spiritual ceremonies, traditional ceremonies. And so what we understand, just straightforward, a national monument if it's designated, within a couple of years, it becomes a National Park Service. That's what we know. But accordingly to Bears Ears Coalition, if they use the Antiquities Act and get a national monument, then there will be a special kind of designation and a proclamation by President Obama, which has never happened. So there's no guarantee that there will be access to Native Americans, as they say.
Once the Antiquities Act is penned, there's no obligation to honor any group other than complying with federal regulations. How much do the people that live in Monument Valley and around Bears Ears, how much do they rely on access for their survival? Because I don't think people grasp how important that is.
You know, there's our people down there use Bears Ears every day. You'll see people bringing in their firewoods, and they really, because in our area, we don't have that kind of resources. Mm-hmm. And it's far away, maybe like 40 to 50 miles away if we're going to get something like that. But Bears Ears is closer, and every day you'll see people. If you go over there and just watch, you know, the road, you'll see people coming in, and they have firewoods. We really depend on that.
So when you say firewood, it's not just for that romantic Friday night date in front of the fireplace. That's I mean, you guys rely on that for your household heat?
Yes, you know, the price of everything is so high, and they don't have the, you know, the power, you know, the electrical, you know, stuff, and it's expensive, and, you know, they have to buy so many things that we need that, and they use it every day. And so do these people that want the national monument, do they go over there? No, they don't go over there. These are the Zuni people, Papalo, you know, that tribal, the people, Apache people that they're talking about, the intertribal, they don't use that, you know, and even I don't think Mr. Mary Boy uses that either. And also Willie Gray Eyes, you know, they don't use that. It's the people that are living down there, they're the one that is using that resources. Not only that, Rebecca talked about the many things and even hunting too. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, if it's made into a national monument, we're not going to have that. It's going to be like, it might be a certain time of the year that we have to do it. But this way, we have access to it like every day.
Okay.
And
very good. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more of the county seat. This is a very emotional and intense issue, and it needs to at least be aired correctly. So we'll be back after this break.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
149 million years in the making, dinosaurs once roamed this land. Now they're found at the Dinosaur National Monument. Let's take you beyond the bones. We call it Dinosaur Land. You'll find it offers adventures and sights not seen anywhere else in the world. Come to Dinosaur Land, Vernal, Utah. You'll want to stay forever. The dinosaurs did.
If you are looking for the center of the universe, good luck. But if you are looking for the center of the off-road universe, look no farther than Paiute County. Hundreds of miles of trails, turning your day of riding into a week, a month, heck, a lifetime wouldn't be enough. Explore one of the most famous trail systems in the world, the Paiute Trail. Go rafting on the Sevier River or go boating and fishing at Otter Creek and Paiute Reservoir. Explore Paiute County and discover the magic and beauty of the land where the rainbow ends.
The weekends just never feel like they're long enough. By the time you get to a destination, you're worn out and you may need a vacation to recover from your last vacation. The solution is closer than you think, and that's just what you need. You can find the desert at Little Sahara, the cool refreshment of Yuba Lake, escape to the green of the forest on the Nebo Loop. Make your escape to Juab County. It'll change your family forever.
Welcome back to the county seat. We have been talking about San Juan County and the monument, the potential monument, the Public Lands Initiative. Rebecca, at this point, I think we've gotten the point across that this has not been properly presented either to the administration or to the general public. What do people need to know?
Number one, I'm here in behalf of the Utah grassroots Navajo people. I want what they want to be listened to. And if they want National Conservation Area and wilderness within to preserve and protect Bears Ears Butte and to be able to have access, I support them 100%. That is one and foremost important aspect of it for me. And so while there might be a national monument proposal from other organizations, you have to remember there's 65 proposals that have been put forth, mostly by different environmental groups. But I want people to know that they need to listen to the Utah Navajos who have to live with the consequences of these decisions. I understand there's other Native American tribes, Zuni, Hopi, and Ute, but they're not the ones that have to live with these decisions. And that's why it's so important for people to know that it should be up to the San Juan County residents and especially the Native American people within the county.
If you had President Obama here right now, sitting right here, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, President Obama, you need to listen to the real grassroots Utah Navajo people and listen with both ears that these are the people that have to live with your decision. And you can lift your pen, whatever you may do, but you better listen to the Navajo people.
Very good. One last note. At the beginning of this program, you saw the story of the protest. Well, that has been going on while we've been taping this session. A promise from the president that he would address the group, as their two delegates were supposedly supposed to get them before the tribal council. Neither of those things happened. Both the president and their two delegates left the council without ever talking to the group that traveled down here to Window Rock. So, there you have local politics at work. Thank you for joining us for the County Seat. Remember to share this story with your friends on Facebook, and we'll look for you next week on the County Seat. If you'd like to share this video with your friends, well, you do that right here. If you would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, you do that over here. If you'd like to interact with us on the County Seat, that happens over here. If you want to watch the next episode of the County Seat, you can catch it Saturday night at 11 or Sunday morning at 8:30 on ABC4 Good for Utah.